Welcome, and as you saw from the title, the conversation for today is really this idea about when I say making a decision to stay human, what are some of the foundational principles around that? Now, before I get started, I just need to let you know a couple things. One, while I recorded all this video talking to you, the audio is gone. So instead of recording all brand new video, I'm just going to give you some other stuff to look at, and I'm going to do it mostly as a voiceover because that has just been the entire way things have been going these last few days, which really highlight the essence of what it means to stay human, is dealing with the massive amount of limitations and frustrations that we as humans are on constantly having to be faced with. For me, the last 3 days have been close to zero temperatures, below zero wind chill, snow, ice, a very leaky trailer, and no water. And in about 10 minutes, I'm going to have the first chance to go out and get water that I've had in the last couple days. So I just need to get this done so I don't miss my tiny window of opportunity. With that, then, we're just going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to roll us to the other side where we're going to dive in. It's just something to think about. These are not absolutes, but deep breath, and I will see you, my friends, on the other side. So let's just jump in and start with principle number 1, and that's really the foundation of being human, and staying human is doing the work of human. And those are just super practical things like a foundation of a house, things that we need to function, things that are common sense, focusing on prevention and then maintenance if it's necessary, how we heal, and if it's really necessary, how to survive. But the essence to me of staying human is this decision to do the work necessary in the same way that we would have to keep a strong foundation in a house or in a car. You have to maintain and keep your car healthy if you want to keep it running. The second principle is that it's not all about winning, and in the end it rarely is. And the reality is that when we only focus on winning, we begin to deny who we are as human and humanity as a whole. There's nothing more important in this decision to stay human than to understand what is the very core values of yourself and humanity as a whole. Just a little bit of something to think about in the vast contradictions that we see in war. It's the essence of tearing humanity to shreds and finding humanity in the midst of blood and gore. Something that we should never have to experience, but there's never more powerful way to learn that lesson than in that kind of crisis moment. Will you be the one that takes life, or will you be the one that saves life? The third one I have up here is, what is a real life? We have moved into this place where we are living in a fantasy world, that we've created virtual reality, that we are observers and not participants, and that we want to be special, and that we want to be the exception to the rule, and not just average, not just normal, not just here to do what humans were meant to do. And part of this decision, this foundational principle of choosing and deciding to stay human, is to remember this is what we came for. And there's just some super basic things about being human that are very good. And there's nothing wrong with that being your life. The next principle is personal responsibility as freedom and survival. And after 20 years as a social worker, standing around wondering, why doesn't anybody want to take responsibility for themselves? I never got a good answer. I only saw it as a repeating factor in almost everybody. But that's the real question. Whose responsibility is our survival? Whose responsibility is food and shelter? Not just buying it, but making sure that we have it. And whose responsibility is freedom? These are great big questions, but I think they really lie at the very core of what it means to stay human. This fifth principle is something that's not something probably most people think about, but the essence of human and humanity, if it is to survive, is the memory and the return to both simplicity and decentralization. Power likes to centralize, and the purpose of centralization is control and domination. And if you as human want to give away your power and be controlled, then complexity and centralization are the two ways you will get that, but you will lose your individual humanity. So this is a big idea, but just something to think about. Number 6 is something that not everybody is going to be on board with. But for me, this idea is that as humans, we are here to focus on process, not outcome, and what's going on within us and not without. And that doesn't mean we don't have goals, but it means that we came into this world to understand, experience, learn, and grow, not just do one thing. That we didn't come into this world to win at all cost and to get ahead whatever the price. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So the essence of me of deciding to stay human is to focus on what actually humanity means, and that's more process than outcome. And the last one, well, this is kind of a big idea, but at the core of it, I know there's a lot of people that feel this way, not everybody, but it's sort of this internal knowing that, well, this is not who I am, being a human in a body, and the world isn't where I belong. And most of us don't talk about these things out loud, but a lot of people have that little nagging memory that this cannot be it. I just remember something different. But we are here as human and in this world, not someplace else. And to me, that's a very grounding idea and a reality check, that no matter who we are as eternal spirit or whatever your personal belief system is, regardless of what's true, because I don't think any of us can absolutely know, we are here and we are in this world. And part of making the decision to stay human is to own that idea and then see what's next. And my personal belief is the way out is through our humanness and our humanity, not hating and destroying who we are, but making peace and finding love and joy within ourselves as the way out. That, however, is not the starting place. So this is all a lot of big ideas. I appreciate you listening. I'm sorry that the words did not sync up with the visual, but with that, we're just going to take a big old deep breath, and I, my friends, will see you next time. Oh, and as a sidebar, anybody who wants to move past making the decision and, well, you know, do the work, links are below.